Good evening. I am Miriam Abdul-Kawi, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. Tonight, the story of a fatal accident, but from the other side. What happens after you lose your 19-year-old sister in a fatal accident? Surviving sibling, Keenan Rag, offers a rare profile of grief and getting on with life. And 3 guns stolen in 2 different armed robberies last night. Plus, a special investigative feature: was a close relative of the Prime Minister banking on silence when money was channeled from a friendly government to a shell company? Also, we went to the streets where we measured the cost of sending one of Cupid's arrows. These stories and much more are ahead on 7 News Tonight, so please stay tuned.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
What if BTL and SMART came together? What would it mean for Belize? Savings reinvested, more efficient, pays for itself in 4 years.
100% self-funded. No SSB, GOB, or bank loans.
Strong returns, more than double the dividends. More investment in rural communities, connecting more Belizeans. Stronger national infrastructure, built for long-term value. BTL and SpeedNet. Know the facts.
For decades, BEL has powered Belize's growth and progress, lighting homes, energizing industries, and fueling national development. But in a world reshaped by extreme weather patterns, digital transformation, and evolving customer needs, the future of energy demands a new approach. The future of energy is now, and it's not just about new technology. It's about people and how we use, manage, and store power smarter. BEL is leading the transformation, blending modern advancements with the wisdom of sustainable energy practices. Integrating technologies will redefine how Belize produces and uses energy. With distributed generation and smart grid technologies, customers are becoming power partners. Energy is no longer a one-way street. BEL is making key investments that will reinforce the grid to make this a reality, ensuring energy security for generations. At BEL, we are more than an energy provider. We work to safeguard Belize's energy future, which will have demand response programs, where customers will be able to shift use during peak hours to take advantage of the new time of use or off-peak rate structures. Customer energy portals, real-time insights and tools to track usage and manage energy smarter. Smart metering, advanced metering infrastructure, faster, safer service and actionable energy insights. Distributed generation, integrating rooftop solar, microgrids and battery storage for two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Amid public discussion about the proposed consolidation of BTL and SpeedNet, some people are calling for financials of both companies and information on license fee payments.
We did ask the PUC for the official figures for SpeedNet's annual license fee payment.
But even Annuar Barrow says it does not quite work like that.
The Public Utilities Commission has a role to play, and they will have access to both companies' financials, and they will use those financials to help evaluate the deal and the consequences of the deal. But they are not going to release that to the public. It just doesn't work like that. The call for, we want to see financials, I'm not sure how you place that.
There is provision in the law. The actual legislation says that there's a duty for them to provide that. And so this to the public. Yes, yes.
We checked, and the fact is there is no law that mandates public disclosure of such financials. Let's educate and consult, but stop misleading the public.
The roads of Belize connect us all. riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Accountability isn't merely important for the Semi-Autonomous Revenue Authority. It's built into every single aspect of how the SARA will operate. SARA is designed with multiple layers of accountability to guarantee responsible and transparent management at every level. Annual comprehensive audits of all SARA operations, finances, and performance will be carried out, providing independent oversight and public reporting. SARA must provide detailed annual reports to Parliament, giving our policymakers complete visibility into operations, achievements, challenges, and financial management. Every dollar collected will flow directly to the government's Consolidated Revenue Fund, managed by the Government of Belize, and will be reinvested in Belize's development. All procurement, spending, and financial management will follow public procurement procedures and public financial management rules, ensuring transparency and the efficient use of public funds. SARA, accountable by design.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We begin our newscast with one of our top stories this evening, where on the 23rd of February, the Gil family of the Cayo district will be going to court, hoping to get justice for the September 24th accident that claimed the life of their 19-year-old daughter, Tamisha Gil, and injured their son, Kenan Rag. The driver that allegedly caused the accident, Simeon Herrera, will be on trial for manslaughter by negligence and a slew of traffic-related charges. But beyond the headlines, tonight we take a look at the interior life of a family after an accident takes a loved one. Our very own Jaleesa Roberts had a rare sit-down with the victim's brother who survived the accident to discuss grief, life after loss, and the reality that while love in life may be short, forgetting is the real long journey. Here's more.
A teenager is dead and a 22-year-old was critically injured in a motorcycle accident yesterday morning in Santa Elena town.
At one of the busiest intersections in Santa Elena, a split second changed everything for one family. Tamisha Gil died after she and her brother were knocked down off of a motorcycle by a drunk driver. The rider, Keenan Rag, survived after multiple surgeries, weeks of recovery, and an emotional battle that continues today. He still relives that morning in flashes, waking up to reminders that his sister is gone.
I have daily flashbacks of the accident. Actually, yesterday I just had one where I wasn't home then, basically in Belize, and I had a flashback of it, and it kind of ruined my day in a sense. And so to start like that, it's a struggle every day. I mean, I get up and the first thing I see is her pictures, and it's kind of hard to deal with it because it's something that I've never dealt with, you know. Never really dealt with the loss of someone, and especially in that way, it was kind of hard. It is still hard to deal with it, just waking up every day and just knowing that she's not here, you know, knowing that she'll never walk back in that door, never make us another breakfast or something, you know. It's something that I'm still learning how to deal with each day.
The day before the accident was Tamisha's birthday, and Keenan says there were small events in the 24 hours before the accident. He now wonders if they were signs.
And me and my sister, we stayed out with some friends, and somehow the vehicle tire, it burst when we were coming back, and we ended up loaning or borrowing a bike from a friend to come home. So the morning when I was getting ready to leave, the bike didn't want to start, which was something that kind of, you know, already, you know, ticked off something that was going to go wrong in a sense. And I spent at least 2 hours trying to get the bike to start. It finally started, and yeah, my mom was like, "Are you going to carry your sister?" I'm like, "I don't want to take her." I can remember distinctly telling her I don't want to take her, and she was like, "She'll enjoy it. She always has fun when she goes with you."
And little did he know that would be his last ride with his only sibling. When they got knocked down, he lost mobility as his body and head suffered major impact. He was not notified of his sister's death until some 11 hours later. Keenan recounts the moment he knew his life would change.
And yeah, I remember they took her, then they took me, and after that, basically, I can't remember much because in the hospital they told me I blacked out accordingly almost 7 times, and apparently I was almost close to losing my life too because of not the injury, the impact of, I don't know if it was when I hit my head or something. I didn't know that she passed away, and they did it in a sense to protect my feelings because I mean I was already going through so much. I was blacking out everything, and so I ended up buying up until almost 11 in the night. They told me that, you know, she passed away, and I just broke down. I couldn't even, I don't even know, I couldn't do anything for myself in a sense. There was so much going through my mind. It was, I don't even know how to say it, how to even explain it. That night just completely broke me in a sense. I felt like everything that I had in a sense of importance was gone because she was the most important person to me at that time.
Keenan is now left to deal with his hardest battle, to grieve and to heal, not only mentally but physically. To date, he has undergone 3 surgeries and still he is not at 100% mobility. Physically, recovery meant surgeries at KHMH and months of therapy. Emotionally, it meant confronting grief, guilt, and unanswered questions.
I have I think it's a stainless steel rod in here right now. So it was shattered from here up, and that's the humerus, I believe. And then on the right arm, my elbow was fractured, and they had to take out the radial head. So I don't have full movement in this arm. I have about around 80% of the normal movement you'd have, you know, full extension and everything. I cannot. I would just reach to there. And I have full extension in this arm, but I catch spasms sometimes that really pain me. It's like electric shocks that pass through my arms and everything.
Yet in pain, he has found purpose. Determined to keep a promise he made to his sister, he returned to complete his degree and eventually resume conservation work with Toledo Institute for Development and Environment.
So school was put on the side, and I didn't even try to put any effort. I didn't have any motivation to do school. And I was like, I'm on my last year. I'm literally on my last subject to finish and get my bachelor's. And I was like, I didn't have any motivation. I didn't want to do anything. I got up in the morning. I'd walk around basically and just do nothing. And I just think about my sister and all that. And one day I was just sitting there and something caught, it just came up in my head. I remember telling her before she even passed that, I'd finish school and, get a good job and someday be able to, do more things with her. And I remember making a promise as well. I was like, I will finish school no matter what happens. And that popped up in my head, and I was just, there talking to her in a sense, and said, you know what? I gotta finish because I promised you this.
He completed his final class with a B+ and dedicated his diploma to his sister, who never got a chance to pursue her dream of becoming a vet.
I remember walking across the stage, and the first thing I said, this one is for you, Tom. And that's why I wanted to cry. I wanted to smile. I was all over the place because I said, I did this one for her. Not only for myself, but for her too. It just, somehow I felt like I made her proud in that moment. And it felt good. It felt really good.
Grief, he says, doesn't disappear. It changes shape. Some days are heavy, some lighter. Talking, leaning on family, and honoring her memory through road safety advocacy have helped. At home, the silence remains, a reminder of loss, but also of love. But Keenan says that many days it feels as if nobody understands him.
Honestly, I keep to myself a lot. And I feel like that's the best way I deal with stuff, because I don't try to tell people in a bad way that they don't understand, but a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand what all I've been through in that sense, and what all I'm still going through. And it messes with my head. It messes with not only my head, my body itself too. It's kind of hard in this time and generation. People tend to, see emotions as something else, like you're attacking something, or your feelings are not really that relevant or valid in a sense.
As a young man, there are growing stigmas around mental health. But a major battle for Keenan is bringing himself to find forgiveness for the man who killed his sister and change the trajectory of his life.
It's so hard to find that peace and forgiveness. I guess because of me being in the accident and seeing how it unfolded, it's hard to really let go and forgive. Because, like I said, if he was more, I don't even know, if he was just more attentive to at least just check on us to make sure that we were okay, it would have been so much easier for me to at least find a sense of forgiveness. But he didn't even care. It was like he took away one life and one was already probably on the way to go. It's very hard. I don't know if I'd ever be able to forgive him or when I'll be able to forgive him, but it's something that I don't think will happen right now.
Out of the despair, the family has found ways to memorialize their loved one. The Tamisha Z. Geel Awareness Foundation was birthed to promote safe driving. But in their home, you can see pictures and memorandums of a life fully lived and a room untouched. Every season, the family still decorates her room for her, and for Christmas and her birthday, a gift is still bought. Keenan explained that no matter the time, she will always have a seat at their table.
We try to do family stuff, like family game nights, try to watch movies, but it's very hard. It's like a void is there, and it's nothing that can fill that void in a sense. We try as much to talk to each other, we get along very well. Me and my family, we get around very well, but you could feel that absence there, Each day you wake up, that she's missing, and it'll never be the same. Even if it's 2 years, 4 years, 10 years, it doesn't even matter. I feel like it'll still feel the same. We're still coping and learning how to deal with it, because it's hard.
And her room, how have you guys preserved that?
Everything in her room stays the same. We try not to change around stuff too much. Everything, her pictures, her gifts that she got, everything that we do still, like if it's past Christmas, you know, it's something that I guess we do like that. We just buy a gift for her and just set it there, you know, in a sense that she's still remembered. And at the table, a seat is left for her.
And in light of this, the what ifs have resonated, but he has made peace with God.
I used to always question what if, you know, it was always the what ifs. What if I didn't take her that day? What if, you know, he wasn't drinking? What if I didn't go down that road? I always used to question God, but I found a sense of peace knowing that she's in a better place. I know the situation isn't what I wanted it to be or isn't as it should be, but she's in a better place now, and somehow I found peace with God. So I've learned how to cope with it, how to deal with it. Don't get me wrong, day-to-day basis, it's very hard, but I learned how to deal with it.
For now, this family is a reflection of hundreds of Belizean families who have lost a loved one and learned to adapt. Grief, universal, but very real. Jalise Roberts, 7 News.
We'll be following the case when it goes to court in 10 days, and anyone interested in being a part of the Tanisha Z. Gill Awareness Foundation and to donate toward road safety can contact them via Facebook. And we take a break now, but when we come back, a special investigative feature. Was a relative of the Prime Minister banking on silence when they received money from a friendly government? And later on, how much is the minimum you can spend to send one of Cupid's arrows to your lover's heart? We went to the streets to ask. Stay tuned.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, texts, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
Amid public discussion about the proposed consolidation of BTL and SpeedNet, some people are calling for financials of both companies and information on license fee payments.
We did ask the PUC for the official figures for SpeedNet's annual license fee payment.
But even Annuar Barrow says it does not quite work like that.
The Public Utilities Commission has a role to play, and they will have access to both companies' financials, and they will use those financials to help evaluate the deal and the consequences of the deal. But they are not going to release that to the public. It just doesn't work like that. The call for, we want to see financials, I'm not sure how you place that.
There is provision in the law. The actual legislation says that there's a duty for them to provide that. And so this to the public. Yes, yes.
We checked, and the fact is there is no law that mandates public disclosure of such financials. Let's educate and consult, but stop misleading the public.
Marriage is an important life event that must be recorded at the Civil Registry Department and Vital Statistics Unit. Only the following persons are authorized to record a marriage: marriage officer, groom or bride, someone authorized by the bride or groom. What documents you'll need to record a marriage within 1 year of that marriage: the bride's and groom's ID, a proof of marriage form, and marriage register issued by the marriage officer. If recording a marriage is on behalf of someone, authorization form is needed and downloadable from the VSU's website. Only the following IDs are accepted: for Belizeans, Social Security card or passport; for foreigners, passport or national ID. The new CRVS, digitally connecting citizens to all vital statistics services. Visit crvs.gov.bz today to record your marriage.
The NEBL basketball is back. 7 teams vying for the mega $100,000 cash pot. First place walks away with $70,000 cash. Second is $30,000. Opening night is Friday, February 20th at the Belize City Civic Center. Gates open at 6 for showtime at 7:30 with a wicked doubleheader featuring the biting San Pedro Tiger Sharks versus the Gunners from the West, the Cayo Western Ballers. And in game 2, will the big bad Belize City Defenders defend the city against the upstart Orange Walk Running Rebels? Giveaways galore and the big $5,000 cash shooting contest. Plus a big halftime show featuring the General Super G. Be one of the first 200 fans to receive a free token. This NEBL season will be fully seasoned.
1, 2, 3. The opportunity of having a home for myself. Very happy. This is something that is my personal.
As you can see, when they get these houses, it's an absolutely thrilling time, and I'm just absolutely overjoyed, man.
I had my own home, but the water came in.
I really appreciate this house.
These are humble, hardworking, honest people. They've worked all their lives, done a tremendous job with their children, have grown their children up to be considerate, responsible, hardworking citizens under really tough conditions. So they've done their part for this country.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m., en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
it like it's hot.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
In 2018, 19-year-old Bobby Garcia was killed at the Cajalpech Maya Temple in what appeared to be some bizarre ritual. And now, the 15-year-old minor accused of the crime is now an adult. Pablo Garcia has been convicted and was today sentenced to 14 years in prison for the crime. He's been on remand since 2018, so those 7.5 years have been deducted from his sentence. And Garcia's body was found inside the Cajalpech Archaeological Reserve with cut wounds to the arm, chest, and throat. He told his parents that he was heading to a nearby park. He never returned, though, and hours later was found at the ruin. Garcia was said to have been killed as a part of an occult ritual. And returning now to two of our top stories. Two teenagers are believed to have shot a security guard and stolen 2 guns in a robbery and attempted murder last night at the jail's compound at the corner of Douglas Jones and Cleghorn Streets. At around 9:45, police responded to a report of shots fired in the area, and they found 49-year-old security guard Justo Pineda suffering from gunshot wounds. Pineda was on duty inside the compound of JL's Quick Loan and was seated at the back of the property when 2 armed males opened fire, injuring him. Pineda ran out of the compound and was later rushed to the KHMH for treatment. Also, police responding to the scene saw a male running from the Conchel Bay area. A constable set chase and apprehended a suspect with a ski mask at the corner of West Colette Canal and Vernon Street. They learned that he was a 17-year-old that is, from Flamboyant Street. Police searched the area and found a Ruger pistol. Another young male, only 16, was also apprehended nearby at the corner of Magazine Road, and he was found with a black CZ 9mm pistol. A security supervisor at JL's also reported that 2 firearms were missing from the security booth following the shooting. Pineda is listed in a stable condition, and the 2 minors remain in custody pending charges. And there was another robbery in that same area a few hours later where another firearm was stolen. It happened early this morning on Freetown Road in Belize City, and it left a businessman shaken and missing his licensed firearm, cash, and personal belongings. Around 3 this morning, police responded to a report of a robbery at 101 Freetown Road. They found 44-year-old businessman Chow Wen Wu, who reported that shortly before 3, after leaving his shop and arriving home, he was attacked inside his fenced yard. Wu told police he was placed in a chokehold from behind by one of the 3 male assailants, while another struck him in the face. The men searched him and stole a 9mm pistol, an iPhone, and his wallet with cash before running off into the night. Police responded quickly, though, and did detain 1 suspect. Meanwhile, in other news, last night we reported on Eterio Castillo, known as DJ Cas, who we said was wanted for questioning by Benquevejo police for accused of theft of over $30,000 in sales receipts from his former employer, Vegas Distributors. The report was made by Assistant General Manager Ian Vega, but tonight, Cas is firing back, stating that he called the Benque station and is not wanted. He adds that despite a comment on our post made by a Facebook account bearing his name, he's not out of the country. He said that's a fake Facebook account where someone has stolen his identity. But to the facts of the case, Castillo agrees that he did sign a document on February 5th with his former employer, agreeing that he received monies from sales on the company's behalf and never turned in those receipts. But he says that he did undertake to repay the $32,000, and he believes his former employer was being unreasonable to expect him to pay half up front. We confirmed that Vega has filed an official report and requested court action. And in other news, the Belize communication workers for justice were out in front of BTL today, continuing their protests for their unpaid severance. And as we told you earlier this week, Paul Perriott, a former Communication Workers Union president, is back in the country and back on the front lines. He was there back in 2005, and now, 2 decades later, he's joined the picket line. He explained today that this is what unionism is all about. Here's more.
We continually get this rhetoric from the board, BTL, and it's most of the board where we continually tell we have to wait, then you get legal advice. Man, what kind of foolishness that? We don't hear the highest advice in the land. We come from the Caribbean court, you know, what kind of advice they need?
So there's been no update from yesterday's resumption of protest?
No update. They've been silent since the last communication that we get from them. We continue to do it. I mean, that's what union is about. You know, we the union members. We pay dues into this union for BCW itself for many years. And I might not even paid for about 12 years, but we have people who pay dues for 20, 25, 30 years, you know, and then pay their dues weekly, come out and then check every paycheck, you know. So the union where represented where we the part of, should be out there. They shouldn't be side on a management hill and hide from the fact that they represent we as well. Even though we're not there again, they still represent we. And we talk against them right now because they need to be out there. BTL is publicly owned. So the government should have a hand. I know this Blizaraga guy, where they out there, they call shot seemingly, and his board. They represent the government. You know, they represent we. We that we give them $375,000 what they get per year in a salaries that we get. They don't get that money from the prime minister or any private entity. They get it from we. That for we tax, that for we work, for we sweat, give them their money. They have to pay attention. And it's strange that although cabinet come that way, they're not put one strong force from BTL, calling out and come in here, and they need to come in here and make that decision on the ground, you know, not the target on TV, because that's not really the help with.
The group will be meeting this weekend to plan their next moves. And switching now to politics, in Tuesday's cabinet meeting, they approved the anti-sexual harassment policy for the public service. According to a release, this policy includes scope of application, definition of sexual harassment in the workplace, a complaints mechanism and internal resolution process, and disciplinary action. This comes after the implementation of the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 2024. According to the executive director of the National Women's Commission, which championed the legislation, there was a 1-year grace period given to implement policies in the workplace, and they're glad the public service has now finalized the policy. She spoke to us via Zoom today in detail with more information. And back in August 2025, we took you to the North Sand Creek River, where extraction of the sand and gravel was contaminated in the water. While that particular area hasn't been used since the start of the year, Cabinet has ordered that 11 sandbars along the river require further replenishment, and 3 bars, 2 in Hope Creek and 1 in Pomona, are fully depleted and would be closed for the remainder of 2026 extraction season. Well, today's cabinet brief says that they have decided not to issue permits for any newly proposed extraction sites along the river during 2026. They are also recommending a technical reassessment of identified bars to determine eligibility and extraction limits for the second quarter of 2026. And now returning to one of our top stories. For the past few weeks, we've been showing how customs brokers were charging importers more than twice the actual duty in kickback scheme linked to customs officers. Well, last night we aired a story about the Prime Minister referring to our reporting on that big bite at Northern Customs as shameful and disgraceful. Here's how he put it.
As I mentioned to Cabinet on Tuesday, when I saw the reporting from Channel 7, I said that I found it shameful and disgraceful. And of course, as the minister responsible, of course I have to take responsibility at the end of the day.
Well, the Prime Minister called our news director today to allege we deliberately misinterpreted his words. The Prime Minister says he told Cabinet that he was talking about the hustle as being shameful and disgraceful. He says those words were not meant to describe our reporting on the story, which he seemed to find illuminating. And switching now to other news, how secure is Belize's banking system? That's a question we asked when we heard reports of a suspicious transaction report involving a politically exposed person that's defined as someone more susceptible to corruption because of their association with political figures. But while we tried to take a closer look at how large sums of foreign money moved through Belize's financial system, our investigation, which included rejected Freedom of Information requests and sources that wished to remain anonymous, ground to a halt due to the inability to access necessary documentation, which is in an executive-level lockbox. But we outlined the initial allegation first made in 2024 and the attempts we made to verify it, and our very own Courtney Menzies has this story.
It was business as usual in the House of Representatives on September 13, 2024. Members passed a simple motion, the resolution to celebrate 35 years of diplomatic ties with Democratic Taiwan. On the government side, it received full support. On the opposition side, not so much. At that time, 4 members of the United Democratic Party were present, and 2 of them stood to support the motion. The then leader of opposition, however, remained silent. Prime Minister John Briceño criticized Shannon Barrow for this, which led to this explosive outburst.
It's a shame, man. See, there you go, see?
No member. No member. No member. Member, there's no point of order.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Leader of the opposition. Leader of the opposition.
What? Bring the evidence. Bring the evidence. Bring the evidence. Madam Speaker.
Later, outside the House chambers, he explained his outburst.
I know for a fact that the Taiwanese gave $3 million thereabouts to the sister of the Prime Minister in an NGO, and the FIU was investigating that, and senior executives in the FIU were terminated because of that investigation. And that type of money is being given to that NGO and then dispersed to members of the government is an interference, a direct interference in our democracy.
Strong allegations that Taiwan funneled $3 million to a family member of the Prime Minister through dubious means. But without evidence, it was just an allegation. When we went digging, we found that it stemmed from unconfirmed reports of a suspicious transaction report filed by the credit union tied to someone in Prime Minister's inner circle. This individual was also said to be linked to the account of the non-governmental organization receiving the money. This suspicious transaction report, or STR, is what led to the alleged investigation by the Financial Intelligence Unit that Barrow spoke about in the House. To find out more information, on November 28, 2025, we submitted a Freedom of Information request to the FIU. We asked for the suspicious transaction report submitted by the credit union, investigation notes or findings produced by the FIU relating to the STR, and records of any action taken by the FIU in response to the STR, if any. We also asked for the investigation notes regarding the non-governmental organization, or NGO, that Barrow mentioned, as well as communications referencing deposits from Taiwan. The investigation, if it indeed happened, would have had to look not just into the NGO and the deposits and transfers being made, but the involvement of a politically exposed person, that is, the PM's relative and part of his inner circle. On December 9th, 2025, about 3 weeks after we submitted our request, FIU gave its answer. Basically, according to the Money Laundering and Terrorism Prevention Act, the unit is prohibited from confirming or denying whether it received any suspicious transaction report, known as an STR, even one involving politically exposed persons. Furthermore, FIU said, it cannot disclose or discuss the content of any STR or discuss any investigation related to an STR at any stage. In other words, the FIU would not provide any information related to this case of alleged financial wrongdoing. Without evidence of the STR, our investigation stalled, since the FIU report would have confirmed or dispelled the allegation of the millions of dollars deposited into a commercial bank account belonging to an NGO. An account, according to Shine Barrow, linked to a family member of the Prime Minister. The credit union initially filed its SCR after detecting a series of deposits amounting to thousands of dollars landing in the account linked to that individual. We spoke with the former governor of the central bank, who explained that STRs are mandatory when the financial institution makes a discovery that is not within the norm.
So, when you open an account, the financial institution would evaluate the risk that customer poses to the system with regards to illicit activities or the financing of terrorism, and then make a determination of the source of funds. They need to satisfy themselves what it would be, and an idea of how much, based on your employment or the nature of your business, they could anticipate you may be depositing in any particular period. And if you exceed those threshold that they may set for you, they can make a determination whether or not they will report it as a suspicious transaction.
The situation can become concerning when the account holder is a politically exposed person.
They would be considered that because these people are more susceptible to bribes and are higher risk for corruption. And so the system requires them to receive special attention, which is called enhanced due diligence, I think they call it. The due diligence that would be done on that person and the scrutiny that would be conducted on their transactions would be a little bit more than what you do for the ordinary person.
But according to our sources, the FIU's investigation ultimately ended. Then, in February 2023, the former director, Ken Clare's contract was not renewed. He retained Dean Barrow as his attorney and filed for judicial review because, according to him, he had been given verbal confirmation that his contract would be renewed. Later, Clare accepted a settlement of over $400,000 and the case was dropped. Because of this, he never filed an affidavit in the suit. While there is no evidence of correlation between the non-renewal of his contract, the settlement, and the dropped investigation, there is information pointing to it. So, we submitted another Freedom of Information request to the Ministry of Finance. In that letter, we requested a copy of the final deed of settlement, all written communications between the ministry and Clare regarding the non-renewal of his contract, and the total cost of pursuing the settlement. We also asked the ministry for any receipts related to the funds the NGO got. When we asked the financial secretary, who was CC'd in our letter, about the request on December 3rd, 2025, this is what he said.
Short answer, yes. I got a copy from the AG's office. I was on leave last week, but I saw it. The AG's ministry is preparing a response. I believe they may ask for a little more time, which is, but certainly it's a Freedom of Information request, and I don't think there's anything to hide, so I'm fairly positive that a response will come shortly and fully, but I'm not sure it can come. There's 14 days, I think it is, 14 days, and it takes a little while. I mean, it is 14 days. If something is on the top of your desk and it's easy, but if it requires a lot of gathering of deeds of settlement and other things, it may take some time. But I'm guided by the AG's ministry. He passed it to me, and I passed back some of the information. We're looking at it. They may ask for a little more time, but the intention is to respond with alacrity or with speed and in full.
Despite Joseph Waite's assertion that there was nothing to hide, 2 days later, on December 5th, 2025, the Ministry of Finance rejected our request, stating, quote, "Without providing your source of evidence or any evidence at all, you assert that Mr. Clare's contract was not renewed as a result of a purported investigation by the FIU into a suspicious transaction at the credit union involving the NGO. We do not see how you could possibly expect our ministry to answer any matter concerning an investigation by the FIU, which is an entirely independent statutory body with investigative powers concerning financial crimes or any matter concerning the NGO," end quote. The response from the ministry continued by stating that contracts made pursuant to the Financial Intelligence Unit Act, such as CLEARS, are not considered public contracts and any correspondence would have been legally privileged. Again, our investigation stalled. However, one attorney, Darrell Bradley, told us via text messages that CLEAR's contract would not be privileged and that he doesn't think there's any such thing as privilege in those circumstances. Still, MOF denied the request and there is currently no ombudsman to appeal it. But we still wondered, are NGOs commonly used to funnel funds to politicians? We asked Ezegiri about this practice. And in your line of work, have you seen it often? Is it a common way? Is it a common way to sort of make illicit financial payments to politicians in the events where these happen, using an NGO as a guise?
Well, one of the things I think in the recommendation from FATF, and I think it may be captured in our legislation, is that NGOs, charitable institutions, even churches, have become high-risk organizations and for money laundering. And so those types of institutions would require some additional due diligence. If you see volumes of money coming through these places, one would think that there may be some requirement to investigate further and look at it and make sure that it's absolutely consistent with the nature of their business.
While Barrow's allegation was explosive, our reporting so far found no public documentation to substantiate his claims or any official confirmation that the alleged FIU investigation ever occurred. When we went to the Prime Minister, he denied the allegations.
This is when you're being reckless. As in the letter we said, that's a private company, so it does not fit under the Freedom of Information Act, and there's nothing to say. But I can tell you, I did no such thing, and I will not comment anymore on that matter. So please, respect, we did answer you.
What remains now is a trail of unanswered questions and a system that, by design, makes those questions difficult to resolve. Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
And earlier in the newscast, we told you about the new anti-sexual harassment policy for the public service. Here's now is that interview on it with Executive Director of the National Women's Commission in detail.
In 2024, the new Anti-Sexual Harassment Act was passed. And so a part of that legislation, as every workplace in both public and private sphere, that they should have a sexual harassment policy and a zero tolerance for any form of sexual harassment and other violence within the workplace. And so that law really, a big chunk of it speaks to protecting anyone. So anybody who is working or have any business to do with any of these spaces, that they're protected and free from any form of sexual harassment. After that, everybody was expected then to have, I think the law talks about a year to put in their sexual harassment policy, anti-sexual harassment policy in place. So we're very happy that the public service now has an anti-sexual harassment policy in line with the new legislation. It gives the definition of what is sexual harassment. So it's any unwanted conduct of a sexual nature. And so it can be physical, whether it's touching and whatever else, or it can be mental, emotional, psychological, telling you words. Maybe you were in a relationship, sharing your pictures, circulating any kind of unwanted images. So it does not have to be about you. It could be, you know, in this new age of technology, people are always sharing other people's videos and pictures and so on. So it's any unwelcome or unwanted conduct of a sexual nature. This one is for the entire public service, and so it guides everything within the public service. Now, in the private sector, yes, organizations, institutions, over the past year or two, we have been doing a lot of training with some educational tertiary level institution as well for them to put in their sexual harassment policy. So it is known that it's needed in every workspace, both public and private. We do hope, because it does call for a lot of education. It cannot be that we have all these strong laws and policies and people don't know about it. And so it's for the education and getting the buy-in from everyone to understand this is your right. Sexual harassment is a form of gender-based violence. It's against the laws, and you have a right to be protected.
And we take a break now, but when we come back, how much will it cost you to shoot one of Cupid's arrows for Valentine's tomorrow? Our very own Jo Marie Lanza went to the streets and pastry shops to find out. Stay tuned for that story and more news.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
I'm Randall Friesen, and I manage Westville Produce, better known as Granny's Foods. That's our main brand. So we offer high-quality grains, beans, rice, and we also offer corn chips made from 100% locally grown corn. We saw a need for high-quality, locally produced products. A lot of the best products are being exported, and we said, you know, we need to keep some of the best products here in Belize rather than export everything. Atlantic Bank has helped us achieve our goals by providing the financing for us to be able to launch products faster than we would without the financing that they offer. We find that Atlantic Bank is very customer friendly, especially with small and medium-sized businesses. We find that Atlantic Bank is more than willing to go the extra mile. They try to understand your business. So when we go to Atlantic Bank with a certain need, we find that they try to develop a solution that will meet our specific need. I would encourage any small business owner to go to Atlantic Bank for their financial services. They're very friendly, and just overall, their service is excellent.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We continue our newscast with a story about fuel. If you blinked at the fuel pump, you might have missed it. But on December 30th, 2025, Belize got a low-key New Year's gift. That's because for the first time in years, the price of a gallon of regular fuel in Belize City dipped below $11. The price went down to $10.86 per gallon, which was the lowest in at least 2 years, and maybe many more. Of course, this is because in December of 2025, oil prices worldwide fell to their lowest level since early 2021. And if you're wondering, most of that $10.86 went to taxes, which constituted 44% of the pump price, while the actual acquisition cost was 43% of that. The balance was the dealer's margin. And now switching to Valentine's Day story. The bustle of the city had a different beat in it today as delivery men zoomed by with their roses in their carrier baskets and shoppers drifted from store to store in search of a gift for that special someone in their life. If you've been under a rock somewhere and didn't know, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. And we went out to find a few deals for ourselves. Hopefully, if you haven't bought anything yet, our very own Jo Marie Lanza has a few ideas for you. Here's more.
As we scoured the streets of Belize City this morning, a number of vendors had already set up shop, displaying dozens of gift arrangements accompanied by flowers, balloons, and plush toys. Our first stop was on Orange Street, where the options were plentiful.
Well, we do have some perfumes, we do have some plushes, some arrangements, we do have purses for ladies, man wallets, and some caps as well. Well, we do have variable prices. We do have man wallets from $18 up. So that will be our starting price, $15 up.
And for the ladies?
The ladies, we do have earrings for $15. We do have wallet purses for $12, $15.
So what you find that people come and buy the most?
Well, you know, ladies love purses. They would like bags too as well. And man, they would like perfumes and man wallets.
The roses?
The roses too, they are very common, and for Valentine's, they do like chocolate as well. We do have a variable things. We do mixes with flowers and chocolates with the wallets and some lip glosses as well.
So if somebody wants to buy from you, where can they find you?
We are located in Orange Street in Belize City, and Abdus Building, right next to Medina's House of Jewelry. I will be here today till 6 p.m. and tomorrow as well.
We also found a similar stall off Mahogany Street with vendor Kalisha Kerr, who told us that she can put together the perfect Valentine's Day package that won't force you to break open the piggy bank.
We have everything. We have Bath and Body, we have Reunite, we have beers, cups, wine. We customize as well, but you would have to let us know in advance. Well, when you come, any price you want, I will make it for you. You just say what you want and I'll fix it up for you. So you guys could stop by. We're right across from the Charles Bartley Building on Mahogany Street.
Always in demand this time of year are flowers, and that's how we came across Armando Aviles selling out the back of his car, a handful of small arrangements and singles.
We are selling flowers for this 14th of February. It's Valentine's Day occasion, and then you know that a lot of people, they like to give presents to their families, and then, well, we have a variety of flowers, and we have 3 different establishments. I'm here, and we have a place by Brody's, and then there's one for the Salvation Army where the checkpoint is, police checkpoint. And we will be selling flowers today and tomorrow. Yes, we have balloons, flowers. We have, for example, this one here. This is going for $75. And then this one here is going for $50. We have single ones like this. Like this one. This is going for $15. But all the flowers are natural. Real roses, real flowers.
How long will you be out here?
And I will be the whole day until 9 p.m. today. And then tomorrow, early in the morning, about 7, I will be out again until, well, everything is done.
But if you're looking for something that will endure as long as love, we came across a creative flower option. That's how we met Marieta Benitez and her mother selling what they call eternal flowers, made by hand out of ribbons and other materials.
We have flower arrangements, we have plushies, we have sweets and stuff for Valentine's just to get you ready.
So these aren't plastic flowers, they're made out of ribbon. Tell us about the eternal flowers.
They're handcrafted, exactly. We call it eternal because since they're handcrafted, ribbon made, they'll last for a really, really long time. So we end up making a lot of them. Starting price is from one single flower. As you can see here, single flowers are $10. They come with Korean paper, they come with the ribbon. We add a little touch here, a little touch there with butterflies, and that's the starting price. Then if you want more than one flower, let's say 7-flower bouquet, that'll be around $60, depending on the price. We've been here since last week getting ready for everyone to have a gift for this special someone, and we'll be here from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow.
And if your special someone has a sweet tooth, we stopped in at 2 popular locations that offer a variety of unique pastries and drinks. Their individuals and cakes are beautifully packaged in little boxes, and the drinks are sure to satisfy the coffee and matcha lovers.
So besides our popular coffee menu, we also have our special of the month, which includes matcha, smoothie, tea, and coffee. Other than drinks, we also have our freshly baked desserts and pastries, which are made in-house. To name a few, we'll be having the raspberry donut, the almond croissant pastries, our Valentine's pastries, and our drinks.
So for Valentine's, we have 4 desserts. And before I tell you about them, they're really rich, good. We have the Valentine's heart. That one has in coffee, Nutella, and tropical flavors. We have the Valentine's rose that has in passion fruit, raspberry, and dark chocolate. And then we have our Valentine's lovely that has peach and lime curd. For the last one, we have the Valentine's cube. It tastes just like how it looks. It's really good. That's my favorite. It has banana and carrot cake pieces.
So tomorrow, Saturday, you can join us for our Valentine's Day. We will be open 8 to 3:30.
For Valentine's Day, we have the specialty drinks, which are the strawberry cheesecake matcha. We have ice and hot lattes. We try to put a little twist on it by offering pink cold foam, offering some flowers on the cups. Yeah.
And your pastries, what other pastries will you have available?
Pastries, we don't have any Valentine's special per se. We try to put some Valentine sprinkles on a few of them, like the cinnamon rolls and the red velvet. But we have available are the cheesecakes. We have matcha, turtle, strawberry, Oreo, espresso. We have the German chocolate cake, the carrot cakes, and again, we just try to put a little sprinkles on it so that it's a bit more Valentine's themed.
What are your best sellers?
The best sellers would be the turtle cheesecake and the German chocolate cake.
You'll be open what time tomorrow?
Tomorrow is 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m.
It's an array of options for those caught in the rapture of Cupid's spell, or who need to send a late arrow straight to their lover's heart. Jo Marie Lanza, 7 News.
And that's all we have for you on 7 News on this Friday night. Thank you so much for watching. I am Miriam Abdulkawi. You can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelieve.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook or YouTube pages. Have a good night and join Indira Craig back here on Monday. Have a good night, folks, and enjoy your Valentine's Day weekend.